Howdy bourbon fans, I'm Tim the Suburban Dad. Today I'm doing something really fun for you guys. My goal for this channel is to help you guys find great whiskey that might be a little off the beaten path. Brands that are flying under the radar that really deserve a highlight. Today I'm talking about Limestone Farms. This is a brand new company. They are currently building a distillery in Georgetown, Kentucky. It's on an old cattle ranch. The company was founded by Darren and Bethany Dillow. Based on the description, when this whole project is complete, it's going to be something awesome. They're going to have the second largest pot still distillery in the U.S. with 4 2,500-gallon pot stills. As part of their features, they're going to have a hotel, an amphitheater, on-site housing. I don't know housing for who, but somebody. And this whole project is supposed to be done in 2027. In the meantime, they are using sourced juice from Kentucky. And I was very generously provided 5 samples, one from each of their bourbon lines that they wanted me to highlight and review for you guys. So we're going to be going through these one by one, starting with Bloodlines. So this one is 96.1 proof. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon. And it's 78, 13, 9. 78 corn, 13 rye, 9% malted barley. This is a blend of 6 to 9-year-old bourbons, and it retails for $60. This is Bloodlines Kentucky Straight Bourbon, 96.1 proof. Dark fruity on the nose, a little bit oaky and leathery. It is not a typical nose so far. It's very intriguing. Fruity, oaky, leathery. Maybe just a whisper of spice, but not much. Let's try it. Wow. Wow. For 96 proof, that is something. Wow, nice rich velvety mouthfeel. Sweet, fruity, but not overly sweet. Easily drinkable. There's dark fruits like cherry, dried cherry. There's caramel. There's some spice. There's a little bit of drying oak in there, just a little bit. That is pretty darn nice. A little bit of nuttiness in there. Hard to say which nut exactly, but some nuttiness as well. That's a really good start. I must say, I'm intrigued now. That was just the very lowest level on their line. It should only get even better from there. There's quite a bit of flavor. The palate is not quite as fruity as the nose would suggest. The more I drink it, the more the oak comes through a little bit. But there's a lot of flavor for 96 proof. There's caramel. The finish is quite long, so it's pretty darn good. Moving on to Bloodlines small batch. So this one is 98.4 proof. This one's also 78 corn, 13 rye, 9% malted barley, 6 to 9-year-old bourbons. This one retails for $80. Fruitier and more gentle on the nose. Fruity but spicy at the same time. Again, the dark fruits, stone fruits, cherries, maybe a little plum. Baking spices. A slight earthiness. Not in an unpleasant way at all. Maybe a little bit of burnt marshmallow in there. Let's try it. The creaminess is there. The mouthfeel is very nice. Pretty rich in coating, especially for under 100 proof. The palate is unique. It takes me on a journey. Let's try it again. Okay, so some more of the herbal earthiness, most likely from the rye, shines through here. This one, the mouthfeel is so nice for a 98.4 proof. It's really nice. It helps. I don't love the palate on this one. It's a little too funky to be a go-to, but I don't hate it either. Yeah, it's got this kind of wet grass, earthy, a little bit of spicy note to it. Very herbal. It's so unique. It's got to be from the rye. I don't know what kind of rye they use, but so far I actually like the straight Bloodlines a little bit better. This is the Bloodlines small batch. That toasted marshmallow note does come through on the palate as well. It's just, there's a lot going on with the palate. The herbal part is what I pick up on the most, but there's definitely a little bit of spice. There's definitely some marshmallowiness in there. It's kind of like a melty, gooey marshmallow in there. So those were their two Bloodline products. Moving on to their other line, this is the Select batch, and this one is 111 proof, 6 to 9 year old bourbon, 78.13.9, just like the others. This one retails at $100. Light fruit on this one, creamy. Ooh, this is probably the best nose so far. Light and fruity, maybe a little floral, creamy, vanilla, custardy. Very inviting. Heavy vanilla cream berries fruit. Yes, that is lovely. Those fruit notes come through. It's like raspberries and cream, raspberry cheesecake. Very, very, very nice. Mouthfeel is good. Coating. There's a little bit of spice. You get more of the boldness from the heat. Not in a ethanol burn type of way, but just there's way more flavor, a little bit more punch to it. Really, really nice. This is probably the best one so far. Nice. Man, that's like pudding, like vanilla pudding in a glass with some raspberries in it too. That's amazing that they get those flavors on the bourbon. Amazing. Next, we have their small batch bourbon. This one is 111.7 proof, and this is a 9-year-old bourbon, so it's not a blend, it's a 9-year-old bourbon. At least it's not a blend of 6 to 9 years anymore. It's 9 years old. And this one retails for $140. Expecting great things. So far, these have all had a common theme of some fruitiness in the nose and the palate. And this is the same mash bill, 78.13.9, corn, rye, malted barley. And this one follows that trend as well. Sweet, fruity on the nose. This one's a little bit darker, richer, like might be some maple syrup or caramel. It smells more mature and just complex compared to the other ones. Not that 6 to 9 years is young, but strictly 9 is even more mature smelling here. Yep, dark fruits again, dark fruits and caramel and a little bit of vanilla. Really not as much spice on the nose on this one. Let's try it. Man. The creaminess, the velvety mouthfeel on these. The last one, the Select batch, and then the small batch, just, so delightful and easy to drink. 111 proof, goes down really easy. The palate, how do I describe this? The palate is rich and complex, but gentle. So for those of you who don't like high proof, you would be okay with this. Because it does not overwhelm you with a punch in the face or too much flavor, but it's gentle, but at the same time, it does not compromise on the flavor experience. It's vanilla, there's some fruitiness, some pleasant spice, a little bit of cinnamon, but also there's some of the herbal earthy notes in there, but this time they're more balanced, and so it actually works really well. The Bloodlines small batch was a little bit too heavy on the earthiness to me. This one, it incorporates it nicely. It's not that I don't like that note, but I like how it works in the complexity of this one. It's unique. These are some unique pours. It's hard to find, it's hard to come up with something similar that I've tried so far. It's not like Old Dominick where they have a high rye mash bill, but theirs is way more chocolatey. It's not like, I mean, it's finished, but Seagrass is a rye that comes to mind. That's way more fruity, comes from the finish. A lot of the ryes that I've tried are more chocolatey. Some have a little bit of an herbal note to it, but this is the most earthy that I've tried. And again, this particular expression, it really blends in nicely. It's not some gross Scotch tasting whiskey. Yeah, I'm not a Scotch guy. This is a bourbon channel. Get used to it, folks. Quite delightful. Very nice. Okay. Are you guys ready for the grand finale? This is the premium selection. This is the private stock or the private batch from Limestone Farms. It's 115 proof. It's 8 years old, taking a step back a year, which is a little unexpected, but the mash bill on this one is totally different from all the others. 70% corn, but it's 10% honeyed wheat, 10% malted barley, and then 10% distiller's malt. That's an interesting one. 115 proof, like I said. Let's see what we've got here. Price tag on this one is $190. I've never paid that much for whiskey before. I'm about to find out what a $190 bottle tastes like. Okay, right away on the nose. Do that again. Oh my goodness. All right. Now, I would just like to say that Tom from Limestone Farms reached out to me, just offered to send these samples, didn't give any caveats like, hey, make sure you give us a good review. I'm not one to pander, okay? If you send me samples, you got to understand that I'm going to give an honest review. Now, the nose on this bourbon is fantastic. It is fantastic. We got chocolate. We got cherry cola. It is so dark and rich, like cherry syrup. I'm trying to put into words. I hate to sound like one of those tasting note snobs, but I'm just throwing my real thoughts at you guys. Yes, cherry for sure. Chocolate. Chocolate covered cherries. Caramel. It's all in there, folks. That is absolutely delightful on the nose. Amazing. Amazing. I'm going to taste it now. That's quite delicious. It's everything that I described in the nose, elevated by a burst of baking spice. There's just, to add to the complexity, there's just a whisper in the background of some of that earthy minerality, but like only because I've tried these other ones and I'm looking for that note, am I really aware of it. But if you're just trying this straight out the gate, it just is a nice symphony of flavors that is coming together. I mean, that's really good bourbon. It's really good. In fact, I need to pour myself a little bit more. that nose, just chocolatey caramel, cherry cola. That is beautiful, wonderful, amazing. So, Limestone Farms, keep your eyes out for what they're doing. Keep your eyes out for any of their releases. I will update you as to where you can find these. Check out the description as to where you can find these bottles. Like I said, I can only give you guys my honest opinion. I'm not going to dupe you into buying some bourbon that, oh, they just gave it to me, so I have to tell them how good it is. No. I enjoyed these, to be honest. The Bloodline Small Batch was not my favorite. Didn't really care for that a whole lot. The other ones, I mean, this private stock, I can see why it's so special. It really is. It's delicious. It's complex. It's flavorful. You get it. Limestone Farms gets my stamp of approval. So there you have it. If you see these on the shelf, grab one, try it. Believe me, it's really good. Be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already by now, be sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss this kind of content. Until next time, cheers.